James Harden just signed a new contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers. The mainstream sports media calls it a massive victory for the franchise. The reality is much colder. The Cleveland Cavaliers are financially trapped in a cage of their own making. Welcome to the brutal reality of the hard cap. The Cleveland Cavaliers front office thought they were upgrading their roster for a deep playoff run. They acquired Peyton Watson via a sign-and-trade agreement. His cap hit is $20,465,116. On paper, this looks like a standard basketball personnel move. In reality, it was a financial trapdoor. Executing a sign-and-trade triggers a strict hard cap at the first apron. The first apron for the upcoming season is exactly $209,015,000. It is a hard mathematical ceiling. You absolutely cannot cross it. There are no exceptions. The front office locked themselves in a financial cage. Following the Watson transaction, their total allocations reached $210,117,046. They were legally over the hard cap line by $1,102,046. The bill for their ambition was due immediately. The public narrative claims James Harden took a significant pay cut to help the team. Do not believe the public relations spin. Harden declined his player option, but do not mistake that for charity. Casual fans see a veteran making a noble sacrifice for the greater good of the franchise. We see a highly calculated risk profile meticulously managed by his agency. His new cap hit is $29,938,272. That consumes exactly 18.1% of the entire league salary cap. He traded one single year of guaranteed money for a 3-year, $97 million agreement. This is not a discount. This is long-term capitalization on a desperate front office. Every single dollar negotiated was designed to maximize his personal return on investment. His total career earnings will soon pass $500 million. Loyalty is just a marketing term sold to the fans to move merchandise. Leverage is how you make $500 million. Harden leveraged Cleveland's desperation into long-term financial security. The Cavaliers had to solve their hard cap violation immediately. They were over the limit by over $1.1 million. They needed room to finalize the roster without violating the strict limits created by the Peyton Watson sign-and-trade. So they resorted to brutal accounting surgery. Enter Cam Whitmore, a young asset carrying a precisely $5,458,310 salary. The front office considered trading him to alleviate the pressure. Instead, they applied the waive and stretch provision. They turned a basketball player into a spreadsheet line item. His exact guarantee is stretched across 3 seasons. This maneuver creates $1,819,437 in annual dead money. The accounting move reduces the current year cap charge by exactly $3,638,873. This specific reduction brought their total allocations down to $206,478,173. They are now securely below the hard cap, but they pushed that dead money into each of the next 3 seasons. They burned future cap space just to survive the current transaction cycle. When you are trapped, you do not manage a basketball team. You manage a financial crisis. Look at the rest of the Cleveland Cavaliers payroll ledger. The front office is not just paying James Harden. Donovan Mitchell will carry a cap hit of $50,105,628 next season. That represents exactly 30.4% of the league's salary cap. Evan Mobley has an identical cap hit. His guaranteed salary is also $50,105,628. That is another 30.4% of the cap allocated to a single asset. Jarrett Allen adds another $28 million to the overall cap hit. Now, add Peyton Watson's $20 million. Add James Harden's nearly $30 million. The front office has locked up massive capital in just 5 players. They have virtually zero financial flexibility left to build actual roster depth. They have boxed themselves into a corner where internal development is the only viable path forward. They are paying a premium championship price for a severely top-heavy roster structure. A structure that cannot survive a single significant injury to its core. When you commit this much capital to 5 players, the margins for error disappear completely. The actual cost of this roster is not just the simple sum of the players' salaries. You have to factor in the punishing luxury tax penalties. The luxury tax in the National Basketball Association is an unforgiving mechanism. It is designed to break expensive, poorly constructed teams. The tax threshold is set at $200,428,000. The estimated luxury tax bill is currently projected at $11,126,195. Dan Gilbert is not just paying player salaries. The overall financial cash burden on ownership is immense. The stretch provision on Cam Whitmore reduced the current year's salary base, but the team remains a luxury taxpayer. They are shifting numbers on a spreadsheet to delay the inevitable. The front office is authorizing massive cash expenditures for a roster that is legally restricted from improving itself. This is a temporary accounting fix for a fundamental structural problem. Let us evaluate the on-court return on investment for James Harden's massive cap hit. You are dedicating 18% of your salary cap to a version of a player that disappeared when the games actually mattered. Regular season statistics are just marketing materials. The playoffs are the actual financial audit. In 18 playoff games, he was given every opportunity. He played 37.3 minutes per night. The regression was absolute. He produced only 19.2 points per game. His playmaking was limited to 5.5 assists. His field goal percentage fell to 37.3%. His three-point shooting completely collapsed to 29.9%. Meanwhile, his turnovers remained incredibly high at 4.7 per game. The Eastern Conference Finals exposed the reality of this investment. The New York Knicks swept them 0-4. This is not an invented decline. This is the exact statistical profile of an expensive asset whose efficiency deteriorated rapidly under intense playoff pressure. Cleveland is paying a massive percentage of their available capital for depreciating returns. You cannot win a championship when your highly paid guard shoots 29% from deep. The financial paralysis extends far beyond the current cap sheet. The worst part of the James Harden contract is hidden in the margins. The agreement includes a 15% trade kicker. Harden had a trade bonus in his previous contract. When he moved from the Clippers to the Cavaliers, the accounted sum of that bonus was $263,397. A new 15% kicker on a $97 million deal acts as a poison pill. If this experiment fails, the Cavaliers cannot easily trade him away. The kicker inflates his cap hit for any acquiring team. Furthermore, we must factor in the collective bargaining agreement's macro restrictions. By operating near the apron limits, the Cavaliers have surrendered their trade mechanics. Teams operating above the apron face the aggregation ban. You are no longer allowed to aggregate multiple players' salaries in a single trade to acquire a more expensive player. They cannot package his contract with another mid-tier salary to hunt for a superstar. That avenue is legally closed to them. His agent created a hostage situation. It is a brilliant move by the player and a catastrophic concession by the organization. They are completely frozen. We have seen this exact scenario play out before in the league. Look at the Damian Lillard waive and stretch decision in Milwaukee. That happened in 2025. The Bucks stretched approximately $113 million of Lillard's remaining salary. They spread it over 5 seasons. That created about $22.5 million in dead money annually until 2030. Milwaukee did it to create space for a completely new roster construction. They shifted a massive financial burden into the future to survive the present. The Cleveland situation is smaller in scale but identical in logic. They are stretching $1.8 million per season compared to Milwaukee's $22.5 million. But the strategic intent is exactly the same. They are buying current year cap flexibility with future dead money. The new collective bargaining agreement is explicitly designed to punish this behavior. If you cross the aprons, you lose your leverage. Cleveland watched other teams make these desperate accounting moves. They saw the long-term consequences, and then they decided to execute the exact same strategy anyway. This is not a roster built for a sustainable championship run. This is an accounting exercise attempting to mask a fundamentally flawed cap structure. The Cleveland Cavaliers overpaid for past performance. They surrendered their future flexibility to survive the current transaction cycle. The front office did not build a basketball dynasty. They built a complicated tax bill that they are struggling to manage. The bill always comes due, and the math always wins in the end. Is the James Harden contract a calculated risk or a financial liquidation? Press 1 if you think the accounting surgery saves their season. Press 2 if this ruins the Cavaliers' future flexibility. Check the pinned comment to vote.